guys, my name is Emily, and today I'm going to be reviewing Alanna the First Adventure by Tamora Pierce. This is the first book in the Song of the Lioness series. This is a series that is near and dear to my heart. I would really like to reread all of Tamora Pierce's works in publication order, just because they're quick and they're fun, and she is one of my favorite authors. That being said, I'd like to sort of start a playlist of these things. This is a story of Alanna. She is a feisty young girl who is being sent off to the city to learn to be a lady. And she doesn't want any of that. And her brother Tom is miserable about being sent off to the palace to learn to be a knight. And of course, Alanna gets this crazy idea: what if we switched places? What if we forged some documents that said that we're twin boys? They do this with the blessing of one of the servants in their home. Alanna disguises herself as Alan and rides off to the palace to learn to be a knight, while Tom doesn't have to disguise himself. He just goes off to the city. Instead of going off to learn to be a lady, he learns to be a mage. He wants to develop his magical skill. Alanna, as a rather petite girl to begin with, spends her years sort of struggling to keep up with the boys. She's always a very tiny boy. They always think of him as a very tiny boy, just you know, petite. And no one really questions it because she does work so hard on her skill that she develops the skill even though she's very much smaller than them. She's not of average male height, I guess. The first book is really her adventures in the palace, making friends through her 4 years as a page. And it is a very quick-paced book. Things happen very quickly. Transitions between things happen very quickly. When I reread it recently, I did notice that there are some awkward transitions between things, some very quick transitions, and I think that's just an early writer thing. I've read the rest of Tamora Pierce's works. Eventually, you get to a point where her writing is so much stronger. Because this is one of my favorite books and I talk about it all the time, I do have to be sort of reflexive and mention that it is a first novel. So there are some first-timer writer things in here that I think get hammered out as you read along. But I do think it's important to go back to the first book and to really get the foundation of Tortal and how it changes between Alanna and Kel and Allie. Something that I find kind of interesting is this book's shift in marketing category. So when I was a kid, this was in the 9 to 12 young reader category in my bookstore. Now that I'm an adult and an employee there, I noticed that this is actually in the teen reads, so 13 plus. And one of the things that I've noticed reading this again is the very frank discussion of sexuality. So Alanna, as a young girl in this all-male space, does get her period and has to figure out how to deal with that. And then while she is meeting with a healer in the city, they have a fairly frank discussion about sex and birth control, because if you want to be a knight and disguise your sex, you can't get pregnant. That would be a little bit of a tip-off. I'm wondering if that frank discussion about sex is what has pushed it into the teen category, because otherwise the writing in here and the plot I think very much does sit with a lot of the other things that sit in the 9 to 12 category right now. Like, I would say that in terms of just gore and complexity of relationships, it probably sits along the same lines as Harry Potter and Percy Jackson, Kenneth Opel type characters, and the books in there are all in the 9 to 12 marketing category. I think it's really the discussion of sex that has boosted it into teen. If you are interested in reading Tamora Pierce because you've heard the name tossed around a lot, definitely do read it. I think they're worth it. I think it's worth it to start at the beginning, but do keep in mind that it's children's literature. This is not fantasy marketed towards adults. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you read Tamora Pierce? Do you think you would ever pick her up? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.